Can you tell us about this lovely facility you have here?
It's the best kept secret in Sacramento. What you see behind us is the Nimbus Dam. That's part of the Federal Bureau of Reclamation's property. They have an agreement with California State Parks, which is over here to what you see is Nimbus Flat State Park. And then they give us permission, Sacramento State University, to run program here. And all of the employees and the staff that work here are employees of Associated Students Incorporated. So it's a really neat cooperation of lots of different agencies.
Now, I love it because I've come over here, I've done I guess it's the paddle boards, there's the kayaks. Can you tell us everything you guys have here?
That's a lot of toys, isn't it? Sailing, windsurfing, canoeing, kayaking. We do boating safety. Stand-up paddling has been also very, very popular and very new in the last couple of years. Olympic rowing, which is everything from recreational, learn how to row, to high-end competitive rowing with our college teams, our master team, and our high school team. And then we also have now corporate team building and youth team building with these dry land activities as well as water activities.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful here. One of the things I love here too is the boats are only allowed to do 5 miles an hour.
Well, we have staff that are water skiers and wakeboarders, but we do run that program at Folsom Lake. The biggest thing is people learning how to share the water and use even still the rules of the roads on Lake Natoma. You have open water swimmers, you have paddlers, you have sailboats. So still, because we're a very popular lake, as people know in the rule of the road. But the fact that there's no jet skis, wakeboard boats, and fishing boats does make it a little bit nicer.
Yeah, I love that. It makes it like family friendly. And that's probably one of the biggest parts I love, because nowadays some of these wave runners and stuff, they're going too fast, and it's just, especially when you have your kids out here, it does get a little scary.
I totally agree. We do not teach a lot of our classes during the busy times of the weekends just because of the population that's out there. But the fact that we offer jet ski classes, water ski classes, wakeboard classes, is our hope is people take the classes and they're going to learn how to do it safely, and they're going to be able to not get into situations potentially where somebody could be hurt because of the education they get here.
That would be nice to get, give people more education on that. Now, can you tell me, I know they do like the NCAA championships, high school championships in rowing, just some events you guys have upcoming this year?
Oh, we have a list of them. Indoor rowing championships, which are on rowing machines, so people that go and are cross trainers, and there's a whole population of people that just do it in the gym but don't row on the water. We have an indoor rowing championship. We have, starting in April and May, our big rowing championships, so the Western Intercollegiate Rowing, which is WERA Rowing Championships, the Pac-12 Rowing Championships. We will also have the Southwest Junior Rowing Championships, which is all the high schools in the Southwest District, which is our area. And then we also will have the Gold Rush Masters, which is the Masters population when they're done with college. And then this year, big to us and the first time ever on the Western United States, is going to be the Youth National Championships. Will be coming here this June, or June 2014.
It is neat, because I remember coming out here a few years ago and just helping out with the timing and watching the collegiate kids out here, and you get them from all across the country. I think the furthest I've seen is maybe Harvard and
all over the United States, and it depends who's fast, what crew's fast this year. But as you say, volunteers, we always, whether it's high school students that need credit for National Honor Society or people who love to be in the outdoors and be a part of it, give us a call, because we could always use help at that finish line.
And it was an enjoyable time. I had fun out there. It was neat to see the competition and the athletes. I know I live near here, and I see these kids out here running at 5 a.m. doing their training and workouts. So there's a lot that goes into it.
Yes, we have the Sac State women and the Sac State men college programs here. Usually they'll do their stuff around the lake early. We open the gates for the members at 7 o'clock, so they're here and on the water first thing. And then the evening, if you see 150 or 200 high school students, that's Capital Crew, and they row right up until dusk.
So there are a lot of things to do. Now, you guys also, I know, rent this facility out?
We do for corporate parties, team building events, breakouts for sessions, and it's as long as they don't take away, the rooms are available as long as we're not offering educational opportunities to pre-scheduled, so we can't displace any of our education, but if the room's open, then it is available. It's very, very reasonable. We don't have dim lighting or nice carpets like the Marriott because we're boating safety and most people are in flip-flops and t-shirts, but it's great. And you can't beat the view. I
love this view. Now, I think you've been here for 20 years, and you got to tell me about, because I've seen the changes, but if you could tell the viewers about some of the changes that have gone on here over the years.
Certainly. When we first, 1983 was my first year here at the Aquatic Center, and when you'd walk on the docks, we'd sink down to about our knees. We had to launch the boats every day, so when the boats are out, you see here are beautifully on the water. We had to hand launch all of our boats. These buildings that we're in were not here. The beautiful ADA low-profile docks were not here, so you got wet when you launched or you landed. And we had, I think, maybe a couple Sabot sailboats and a couple canoes. So over time, we didn't have a beautiful facility in the beginning. We built the program before we built the facility.
I like that. You guys have a weight room, I believe.
It's very, very small, but it has the core components of what we need. So for any of our affiliates, they have access, paddling affiliates, sailing memberships, and then our competitive teams have access to our erg loft where the rowing machines are, and also the equipment that we have in our small weight room.
And then you also have a huge boathouse. I know I've seen that. I've seen that change over the years.
The boathouse is beautiful because we have so many the rowing shells, and it's particular if they're men's boats, they're women's boats, and they're designed. But the coaching staff shares a lot of the equipment between all of the programs. This is Capital Crew, our men's varsity squad, and so this is their preseason conditioning led by their team captains. And the hope is they get mean and lean and strong before they actually hit the water.
And when does their season start?
They will start actually rowing next week. Official practice begins, and then they will have their first races in October and November, and then those are head races, and they'll start their 2K racing or 2,000 meter racing in the spring.
Wow. These guys they already look pretty lean and mean.
This is the Capital Crew varsity women. There's preseason conditioning, and so it's led by their captains. So they are doing, I think, a rope run today. They do even some water aerobics. They'll do calisthenics. Same thing the men are doing, and they'll alternate and share the equipment until they start coaches' practices next week.
So are they from all different high schools?
We have students from Granite Bay, from Sacramento, St. Francis, and Jesuit in the men's program, Oak Ridge, Folsom, Vista. So we have students from all over the Sacramento. That's the capital. Sacramento is the capital city. We have Capital Crew.
And I know these ladies are pretty tough too, because I know they've set some pretty good records or done some pretty good things around the state.
We did. We had two boats. We had what we call the open weight boat qualified this year for Youth Nationals, and a lightweight boat. And for the first time in many years, we also had almost every single one of our programs have boats make it in the grand finals at the youth championships here at Lake Natoma.
It's pretty neat to watch these kids. I see them out here early in the morning. They're out here training, and they're working pretty hard.
I think that when they can budget their academic life, their social life, with athletics, these are the kids that will be going on to college and doing great things.
And there's a lot of scholarships for rowing, I believe.
There is, and even if it's not a scholarship for rowing, the tools they get by participating in a sport like this give them tools to still succeed in other areas of their life.
This is just another aspect of what you can do here at the Sac State Aquatic Center.
You ready now, Slater? All right, sit ready, row!
You can actually do like race simulations here, where people can compete against each other.
When the system's Concept 2 ergs can be set up through a computerized system where the students can actually watch their boat on a computer screen to see where they are in reference to the rest of the rowers. Right now, it's just this conditioning, so they're not watching the monitors, they're paying attention to their rates and their form and technique just in preconditioning.
Now, a lot of people think rowing's your arms and back, but you got to have strong legs too, correct?
Legs are the key. Yeah, you look at the way they do it. It's a push, so it's legs. They use their backs, their arms, so it's a whole body movement.
How many machines do you have in here?
I think we're right close at 40.
So you can basically have a competition though with people that don't row. They just row on these machines. They don't have to be water rowers.
Correct. When they come in, they will race on the screens only, and they can check with us the 1st of January 2014, and our event's the first weekend of February.
That sounds fun. Got my mind going.
We'll see you in February.
Now, what are the bicycles for? Just cross training?
For the athletes that have knee injuries or potential back injuries, it's still a way to keep their cardio up and still keep them going until we can get them back on an erg. those are the coxswains. Those are actually the young men that tell them their strokes, their ratings. And I think the athletes have more respect for their coxswains when their coxswains actually work out with them.
Keeps them all the team on the same page.
Yes, absolutely.
I like that. Now these guys, the coxswains are usually pretty lightweight. Is there a certain weight restriction, or how does that work?
There's always a goal, depends on the division, but all the coxswains are usually right close to 100, 115, 120.
Now I know we had one of the Olympic members from here that was a coxswain, I believe.
Sarah Whipple was from UC Davis and is now coach at Cal, and her sister Mary, two-time Olympic medalist.
Just another fact coming out of this Sac State Aquatic Center. So these are some more of the windsurfers and the paddlers.
You see, I think those are probably guppies or starfish. Those are either 7 and 8-year-olds that are on the windsurfing boards. And right here you see how they're tied with the rope, so they don't have to self-rescue. The lifeguard that's on the dock right here can give them instructions from the dock. And then if they get too far out, we can just pull them back in. And then it looks like we've got a couple dad out here and a couple moms trying it for the first time. So this is a nice controlled environment, so it's safe and it's a great way to teach.
So is this a rowing lesson?
You see Rudy out here, he's one of our rowing instructors, and so they'll learn how. So the difference between sweep and sculling, this would be a sculling. You have an oar in each hand, opposed to the young men and women you just saw, the high school kids. Most of those kids actually do sweep rowing, so there's 8 of them with only 1 oar in their hand, and this is a sculling class.
Oh, so sweep is 1 and scull is 2?
Correct.
I didn't know that. So I just learned something new again today. Now, also, I'm going to pan over here on this dock. You have everybody coming in. Are they?
Those are user-friendly, so everything to grandpas and grandmas, moms and dads can use them. They're very, very stable, and basically, when you pedal, there's a small little propeller that makes them go forward. You're going to see the tandem kayaks and single kayaks, and same thing. It's family night tonight, so all these summer camp children get to show their mom and dad what they've learned all week. So they're canoeing, kayaking. They can go stand-up paddling. When they leave the dock, they should be coming in on their knees so they don't fall and hurt themselves when they come and go. And then for the most part, over on the other beach that we don't see right now are the windsurfers. And we also have the team building course open on the very, very back of it.
And then you're not locked in, so a lot of people I know sometimes they think of kayaking or canoeing, they get afraid because they're locked in. These are just, you sit on top. And so
they're perfect because you don't have to know how to do a wet exit or worrying about capsizing and getting stuck. You fall off, you crawl back on. And there are self-bailers, so your hiney is going to get a little bit wet. So when you come out in October and the water's cooler, just be prepared that part's still not going to be totally dry.
Just gets your heart going a little bit.
This is called, people know them as a slack line. We refer to it as the tension traverse. And a lot of times we use it for team building, where people can go on it together or across. But it's also a huge thing for people who have fear. My husband says false evidence appearing real. And in most cases, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to fall in the lake. You're wearing a life jacket, but also the fact to do something you're not totally comfortable with, and then when you're done, the feeling of, oh my gosh, look what I just did. And so whether they're 7 years old as a guppy or a mom that's 50 years old trying it for the first time, there's a similar feeling.
And this is you do a lot of like corporate team building and stuff here too?
We do it for competitive teams. We do it. We've had quite a few of Intel, HealthNet, any corporation that wants to do office bonding days, and it depends whether some people may not want to do high intensity, total water activities. So we can do dry land and kayaks or hydro bikes that would keep more dry. This obviously, when you come back here and do our wet course, water enrichment training we call it, you're obviously going to get pretty wet.
That looks fun. Do you have the slide over there too?
The slide is not open on the weekends for the public just to come play on because it's a safety issue again. But whenever we have any kind of our programming for our classes, our team builds, then that's part of this course.
Now, is this you walk on this mat, or what is this mat over here? Looks like the kids are walking on to get to that tube.
They call it a splash mat. So it's balance, it's agility, there's exercises you can do on it. But for the kids, mostly it's a large fun factor.
Is it harder for adults like me if the more you weigh, or?
No, you could do it. You could do it. I can do it, you could do it.
I just noticed, like, there's a little kid run out there. That thing's sinking. I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. See if we can get this. Here we go. I think we got one. They tried to get to the log out there, the roll.
If you do the log rolling, that again is fun factor, and I think it comes from when you think about us and adults and you work in an office environment. How many times a day do you laugh? Do you laugh maybe 20 times a day? And if you do, is that a good day? Maybe 10 times. A child on an average laughs anywhere to 100 to 150 times a day, if not more. And so it's not a bad thing to bring a little childhood back to those of us who sit at desks or work in an office or in a different kind of environment. So fun factor is a really important part of what we do. And the stigma for life jackets. Well, if life jacket's not cool, I'm not going to wear a life jacket. You know what? You're not cool at the aquatic center if you're not wearing a life jacket.
I agree. And then what do we have over here? These look like the things you pull on the back of a boat, but is that?
They are. If you go to Walt Disney World or one of the amusement parks, they actually have done what they call lily pads that you can play on in the water. And so this is our version of a lily pad, and they are tubes. And it's balance, it's agility, and the kids love to play on them. So this is another incentive, and it's a fun activity. And we can do it as a team, you can do it as an individual, you can do it as races, relays. And so the kids, and even the parents, you know, they fall off at number 3. I can get to the 4th buoy, I can get to the 5th buoy. So they become actually quite competitive. The key is center of gravity. Keep your knees, and usually the largest part of your center of gravity is your rear end, so keep it low.
This just looks so fun out here. I needed these when I was a kid out here. I probably would have never went home.
Well, there's probably a lot worse alternatives than the aquatic center.
That's the thing I did notice. I noticed you do a lot of day camps, and it's got to do a lot of team building and just building up of kids too. I noticed you guys seem like your emphasis is on that.
Well, I think it's confidence. So if somebody's not used to doing something like this, or this is not their comfort level, in every single boat they go in, whether it be a canoe or a kayak, a sailboat, the children will learn how to capsize it. They're going to learn how to rescue themselves. They're going to learn how to rig it, de-rig it, and also they're going to rig the boats and de-rig them, pick up, clean up. That's part of being a good boater, is the whole picture. It's not just going to the beach at Club Med and having somebody, here, get in your boat, ma'am. You know, so I think that they get a whole perspective when they're here.
And you also give opportunities to all kids of you know, all economic, you know, things. I know you have. Is it a grant or a fund? How does that work?
This is my special plug for Boating and Waterways. California Department of Boating and Waterways promotes boating safety education and promotes also access to the waterways. And we are what they call a BISC, a Boating Instructional Safety Center. So whether it's grants that we've received for our facilities, like our low-profile ADA docks, but our life jackets that we have that people wear, also scholarships for kids who would not always have this type of opportunity, so they can come out and have an opportunity that wouldn't be allowed to them otherwise.
I think that's great too. All children deserve to, you know, have the opportunities and have the fun. So I think you're doing some great things out here. I want to thank you for letting us come out here and film. I know you're having a big day today. I think it's family day today.
It is. Family night's one of our favorite times because the children get to show off what they've learned for an entire week to mom and dad. And mom and dad get to get wet, they get to put on a life jacket and laugh and play with their kids for 2 hours. And it's a chance for the family to bond. And my husband and I both believe that a family plays together, stays together. So hopefully we can share that motto with some. We'll make an impact in other people's lives.
And how can they find you on the website?
Sacramento State Aquatic Center.com.
And it gives them everything they want to know about here, and just main thing is just show up and find out more.
If you're going to come and rent a boat as a family, make sure you have your ID and a set of car keys, so we make sure that you come back. Also know that anybody who goes on the water needs to wear a PFD so that you're safe while you're out there. And if you have questions, 916-AQUATIC.
Perfect. It's been a great day out here. I want to thank you, Cindi.